Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Midday News on 3FM 92.7. My name is Beatrice Adu. The news is also live on Kasmi 107.1 FM and across the world at 3news.com. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Former Chief Justice and Member of Council of State, Justice Sofa Akufo, describes current constitutional processes outlined in Article 146 to remove Chief Justice as unfair. We'll tell you more. And still at the court, High Court orders former Signals Bureau Director Beatrice Adu to be remanded for 7 working days. We'll tell you why as we go live to the court. And much later, TUC General Secretary Joshua Ansah under fire for importing foreign materials into his speech during the May Day celebrations. Very much for joining us this afternoon. Now, former Chief Justice and member of the Council of State, Justice Sofa Akufo, says the current constitutional processes outlined in Article 146 of the 1992 Constitution for suspending and removing the Chief Justice is unfair and must be reviewed. She has therefore suggested to the 8-member Constitutional Review Committee recently set up by President John Mahama to consider amendment to the current constitutional provisions to make the processes for removing the Chief Justice more stringent. She also suggested that any Chief Justice found culpable of misconduct by the 5-member committee set up by the President must be given the opportunity to go for an appeal, since the current arrangement did not make provision for an appeal against the committee's ruling. Justice Sofa Akufo made those proposals when she appeared before the Constitutional Review Committee chaired by Professor H. Kwasi Prempeh in Accra yesterday. Let's get a quick reaction from member of the NDC legal team, a lawyer, Abraham Amaliba. Good afternoon to you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Let me first get your reaction to this comment coming in from former Chief Justice and member of the current Council of State.
Well, I think she is talking about constitutional reforms or review. I have nothing against that. But when you look at the current situation where she's talking about, the Constitution also provides for the removal of the President. The President has no right to appeal. It also provides for the removal of the Speaker. The Speaker has no right to appeal. It is in this vein that the removal of the Chief Justice too has not been provided for an appeal. So if she's asking that there should be a process of appeal, then it should cut across. The other 2 branches too should have that opportunity. But as we speak now, the Constitution says that she would have to go through, or whoever is the Chief Justice would have to go through a certain prescribed processes. Those processes allow the Chief Justice to be, represented. So if at the end of the day, the Chief Justice is removed, I think that should be sufficient. I don't think that opportunity should be given to her to appeal, because in that office, she's supposed to live above reproach. And if you have petitions coming against her, then it means that she has not lived above reproach. And I don't think that there should be an opportunity for that to happen at all.
Are you surprised this call is coming in at this time?
I'm surprised because this provision has been applied to other officers, and I didn't hear the former Chief Justice, Sofa Akufo, talk about giving opportunity for appeal. It was used against Loretta Lamte, Siraj Boss. It was used against 2 others, including Charlotte Osei. I didn't hear her. I don't know what is special about a Chief Justice for her to be calling for the Chief Justice right to appeal against the proceedings of the committee. I think that probably because she was once a Chief Justice, she's interested in the position. But the argument should be made for all other positions that are subject to Article 146 and not just the Chief Justice.
And again, if I hear your submission, do I get the understanding that in as much as we have the law as it is, and the Chief Justice is asking for amendment, you still disagree with the proposals that she's made, one of which is that she should be given the opportunity to appeal?
I think that there's no need for an appeal. I think that once you are in that office, you must conduct yourself in ways that will not call for petitions against you. Immediately petitions come against you, it means that you have lowered the bar, and we don't need such people to be in such high offices.
I also heard you say that other two branches should be given that opportunity. Are you able to give us clarity on what you meant by that? Which branches are you talking about?
I'm talking about the president should also be given the opportunity, because Article 66 provides for how to remove the president, but the president is not being given the opportunity to appeal. Same goes with the speaker. Speaker, after his removal, has no right to appeal. And I don't know why that alone should be given to the Chief Justice. That's my argument.
My final question to you, we've heard people also talking about a general amendment that we need for Article 146. Even Professor H. Kwesi Prempeh himself, who is the chair of this new Constitutional Review Committee, is asking, for instance, over the weekend, he asked for two major things, one of which is that there should be transparency. So this in-camera thing, there's a problem with it. You're disagreeing with the proposals from Sofa Akufo, but moving forward, what kind of proposals or amendment would you expect regarding this very Article 146, which has become, prominent now because of what's happening?
Well, if it is to make public the decision of the committee that is investigating the Chief Justice, I agree to that. I agree that at the end of the proceedings, let's make the decision public. I've heard others also talk about beaming it live and allow Ghanaians to follow the proceedings. I think I could agree with those ones. I think on those two scores, I have no challenge at all if the constitution is amended to absolve those ones.
Thank you so much, Abraham Amaliba. He is a lawyer and member of the NDC legal team. Thank you so much for speaking to us. Meanwhile, the Africa Judicial Independence Fund says it is concerned about the lack of robustness in the constitutional framework governing the appointment and removal of judges, including the Chief Justice. The fund says that in its current form, the framework leaves room for potential manipulation and undue political influence, therefore requiring urgent tightening and reform to better safeguard judicial independence. It also cautioned against the politicization of the judiciary amid calls for the removal of the Chief Justice. Let's stay at the court because an Accra High Court has ordered former Signals Bureau Director Kwabena Adu to be remanded for 7 working days to enable the Attorney General to complete the preparation of his witness statement. His wife and the third accused person, Mildred Donko, are to remain on their existing bail terms. The trial judge in the prosecution of former Signals Bureau Director Kwabena Adu, his wife and 2 others met the prosecution and defense lawyers in chambers this morning. The Attorney General sought to the court to remand the former Signals Bureau boss on grounds that he is attempting to interfere with investigations. Lord Edwasari is our court affairs correspondent. He joins us live now. Lord, just tell us what you've gathered so far about the in-camera hearing today.
Hi, Beatrice. So, essentially, following the remand of the former Signals Bureau Director Kwabena Adu, he's still upstairs as I speak to you in the courtroom. They are trying to work on the documents as far as the warrant for his remand is concerned. We've been told that he's going to be remanded into the custody of the Economic and Organized Crime Office, EOCO, for the next 7 days. His lawyers, led by Samuel Atachina, tried to get bail for him, but that was denied because the prosecution argued that they realized through the investigation that he has a potential to interfere with their witnesses and then by and large the investigation. And so he will be in the custody of Yoko, but his wife and then the third accused person, Mildred Donko, they are still on the bill that, if you recall, when the case first broke out, they were granted bail by Iyoko. So that bill also stands for his wife and then the third accused person. But he, however, is going to be in custody, Iyoko custody, for the prosecution to finish the investigations, Beatrice.
Lord, we also understand that the lawyer of the accused, Samuel Atachia, had issues with the 7 working days thing giving. Can you tell us more about it?
Indeed. So, primarily, the prosecution wanted the court to remand him for 2 weeks because they said that they had to do extensive investigations, get the witnesses, get the witness statements, and so they needed him to be in custody for 2 weeks. But his lawyer, Samuel Atachia, like you mentioned, argued that 2 weeks was too long because he's already been in custody as it were for the first time he was arrested, that is before he was granted a bail. And so he prayed the court for him to be given 1 week instead of the 2 weeks. And the presiding judge, Eugene Nyante Nyadu, heeded to that prayer and then granted 7 working days, so weekends excluded. That was not taken too kindly by Atachia, and so he wanted the court to vary the terms to 7 days, meaning that it would just be 5 working days, and then he'll be done and be returned to his family over the weekend. But the judge indicated that the Attorney General's office does not work over the weekend, and so they'll need the full course of the 7 working days to be able to finish their investigations. And so his plea was denied, and then the 7 days was upheld. And so Kwabena Duboahim is going to be in custody for 7 days, and we are back in court on May 13th for this trial to continue.
Thank you so much, Lord Edwasare. He's our court affairs correspondent. Some 12 minutes past the hour of 12. This is still the midday news here on 3FM 92.7. Now, all may not be well within Ghana's organized labor, following fresh allegations made during the Workers' Day celebration yesterday. The National Federation of Labor is accusing TUC Secretary General Joshua Ansah of importing foreign materials into his speech during the celebration, matters that were not discussed as organized labor. In a letter to TUC, Abraham Kumsin accused TUC of a deliberate sidelining while propagating views not shared by all of labor. Let's walk you through the concerns being raised in this letter in terms of the Federation of Labor and its concerns. It says that disregard for inclusive representation. The other concern is also that Chief Justice remarks as made by Joshua Ansah, Secretary General of the TUC, was not consulted. Also, Galamsey and government engagement remarks as well were not something that they discussed. Now, here are the demands of the Federation of Labor. We demand an urgent meeting of the interim organized labor leadership before the end of May 2025. Now, this meeting must address the status of the stalled organized labor structures and chart a way forward for inclusive, transparent, and principled collaboration. Now, Abraham Kumsin spoke earlier on New Day Today. Take a listen to exactly what he said.
Even in the TUC's position, we don't have problem. TUC is an autonomous labor center. If they met and took that decision, we decided to speak how we spoke yesterday. We don't have problem. But this forum, the forum yesterday, was for organized labor, not only this. So, if you want to speak, you must make sure that whatever you have in mind has been discussed by the organized labor leadership. But this didn't happen. We even sent some inputs, and they never captured people in the sentence. Then can I stand there and we are doing politics that he himself, I know, he doesn't even understand the legal issue that he brought up there. You don't understand it. If you are asking the president to what? Tread consciously or whatever, what conscious trading? The president has activated a process to achieve some result in the interest of the country. Then you are saying that he said, is he a magician? He and is he a magician to know what could happen in the end. So, yesterday, look, I was really sad, and I didn't want to create a scene. Otherwise, I would have snatched the speech the paper from his hand. The Galamsey thing that he said. Galamsey 8 years, 8 good years. What did we do? And 4-5 men in office. And we are giving caution, threatening. I don't hear that again. If the TC want to be annexed to NPP head office, okay, they can go ahead and do that. But we will not be part of it. Honestly, whatever was presented there, it represents a TC position, not organized debate, as far as my are concerned, because DFL is a critical stakeholder. And if the TC doesn't take care, we are giving them up to the end of this month. We will drive them to court to challenge their mandate, to mount a platform and speak the way they speak. We challenge it. We challenge their mandate. That's it. They like the joke.
And you heard that Abraham Kumsin, he is with the Federation of Labour. Investigative journalist Manasseh Azuriawene has formally petitioned President Mahama to discontinue the 19-year-old contract between the Youth Employment Agency YEA and Zoomlion Ghana Limited. Manasseh explains that under the last contract that expired in September 2024, 850 Ghana cedis was allocated to each sweeper. Zoomlion keeps 600 cedis and pays the sweepers 250 cedis a month. According to the contract, Zoomlion also charges interest if the YEA delays in paying the company for 3 months. And there's a quote here. In 2024, the company charged an interest of 90 million Ghana cedis, he said. Now, he noted that Zoomlion on Thursday, May 1, revealed that its latest proposal is under discussion at the YEA. In this proposal, Zoomlion wants the allocation per sweeper to be raised to 1,308 so that Zoomlion could take 888 and give the sweepers 420 cedis a month. Manasseh says that YEA has no data to verify the 45,000 sweepers Zoomlion present for payment every month, even after raising an alarm in 2018. The Youth Employment Agency YEA is expected to brief the media and will be bringing you updates as and when we do have that. Now, the Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Cocoa Board, Dr. Randy Abbey, says the government is working on a legislation to criminalize the cutting down of cocoa trees in the country. The move, according to Dr. Abbey, is aimed at safeguarding Ghana's agricultural sector and protecting the livelihoods of thousands of cocoa farmers who face growing threats from illegal mining and deforestation. The Cocoa Board CEO has been engaging cocoa farmers in the Shanti region on government plans to enhance the sector and make it more profitable. Ibrahim Abubakar is our man there, and he'll be joining us very shortly. But ahead of that, let's listen to what Dr. Randy Abbey has been saying.
Existing laws are not stringent enough. The cocoa tree is not protected, and that is how people can indiscriminately just fell cocoa trees, and then under the pretext of mining, whether it's prospective or it's actual mining, we're just destroying cocoa trees. So cocoa must be protected, and that is what one of the assurances the president gave the executives of the farmers when he met them at the Jubilee House. So we need to sit with the Attorney General's Department to be able to craft the necessary amendments and then get Parliament to approve this.
And you heard Dr. Randy Abbey. He is the CEO of the Ghana Cocoa Board. Well, he also assured cocoa farmers of a favorable producer price for the 2025-2026 crop season.
Afia yekomo cocoa season no aye 25-26. Yebe bieno bosumia etoso wotwe August.
We will open this year's season in August. And as we open, it will come with new price and it will be higher than that of Abidjan.
And you heard the CEO of the Ghana Cocoa Board. Let's speak to Ibrahim Abubakar, who's a man following this issue. Ibrahim, we just heard the CEO of Cocoa Board there, the last one he spoke in. Are you able to briefly tell us what he was saying and what more? Ibrahim, can you hear me? Hello? Okay, we'll have to correct that line to him. Let's see whether we can have our Ashanti regional correspondent Ibrahim Abubakar, who is following the CEO of the Ghana Cocoa Board, Dr. Randy Abe. Ibrahim, if you can hear us.
Yes, Beatrice, I can hear you now.
Excellent. I was saying that the CEO was speaking in Tree, giving some assurances to the cocoa farmers regarding 2025-2026 cocoa producer price. If you can tell us exactly what he was saying and what more as regards what he's doing in that part of the country. I'm sorry, our lines are not helping us. Whilst we try to correct that, former NPP presidential aspirant Dr. Arthur Kobina Kennedy says Dr. Bawumia's comments during the thank you tour by the party are unfortunate. It follows growing concerns over the ongoing tour. Remember that the NPP 2024 flag bearer at the tour blamed the party's defeat on a failure on the part of the previous administration to listen to the concerns of the ordinary Ghanaian. Already, other leading members, including Boache Jakon, have described the tour as rancorous and one that could leave the party worse off. And after Kennedy, Japan and party chairman Stephen Intim stepped away from the tour, Dr. Kennedy argues that the former vice president's comment on the tour are targeted attacks at Akufo Addo.
Invested in one person. So even though he artfully uses the royal we, etc., etc., the reality is that if you understand language, when the vice president says reshuffle for 8 years, he means the president. You know, if you understand language, and this is fueled by the knowledge in the party that the former president has made a decision and communicated the same to some members that he intends to support another candidate. I mean, all those are issues that we can debate later about the appropriateness of supporting Bawumia and the tensions that occurred during the last primary and all that. But having said all that, I think Dr. Bawumia cannot eat his cake and have it. You know, you cannot be touted by the likes of Osafo Maafo as the most influential and consequential vice president in our history. You were the economic guru who were going to rebuild our economy and take all the plaudits, and then when we finally lose an election, turn around and pretend you never had any influence.
And you have the former flag bearer of the NPP, Dr. Kennedy, Arthur Kennedy, speaking there. He also wants the tour called off, insisting other considerations ought to have been made before embarking on the exercise. Now, the Krowo and Ayawaso East Municipal Assemblies have confirmed their respective municipal chief executive nominees in separate peaceful voting exercises. In Krowo, for instance, Engineer Paul Afote-Kwei was unanimously endorsed as the new MCE, following a confirmation vote. All 17 eligible assembly members, including 6 government appointees and 11 elected members, voted in favor of the nominee. One assembly member is reported deceased, bringing the total number to 18. Engineer Afote-Kwei expressed his gratitude for the overwhelming endorsement and pledged to tackle key developmental challenges in the municipality.
The challenges that face our people, there are quite a number of them. The state of our roads is one. One of the key issues is youth unemployment. As far as the vision that I'll bring to bear is concerned, it's basically in line with His Excellency the President. It's a vision to reset Ghana through provision of jobs, creating prosperity for the people. So generally, that's what we're going to do.
Meanwhile, the Ayawaso East Municipal Assembly also confirmed its MCE nominee in a similarly smooth process. Out of the 17 assembly members who participated in the vote, 16 endorsed the nominee while 1 voted against. The newly confirmed MCE, Abdu Ganeyu Ibrahim, pledged to ensure peace and stability in the municipality, which he said are essential foundations for development.
The issue of sanitation is a challenge for us, yes. So we are going to collaborate with our sanitation officers at the assembly. And also we have some few NGOs in the community who are helping us doing the sanitation. So my Monday, we call everyone at the emergency meeting so that we can have it on the board to tackle the sanitation issue.
And you heard right there the newly confirmed Ayawaso East Municipal Chief Executive. You're still here on the Midday News on 3FM 92.7. Stay with us.
Accra, Ghana, Africa, and worldwide. Join us on Inspirational Gospel Mix this and every Sunday, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m.
Get ready for the revolution. What you say now?
What is your favorite scripture?
Well, my favorite scripture is Romans 8:28, and it says, all things work together for the good to them that love the Lord. Kwame, that is absolutely my favorite scripture.
Yes, your Inspirational Gospel Mix, a moment to get inspired with the best of inspirational songs and interviews to get you prepared for the new week. Every Sunday, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. with me, your big brother, Kwame Adu, mixing G, mixing gospel. You can't miss it. You are blessed as you listen. 3FM 92.7.
And you're still here on the Midday News on 3FM 92.7. We stay on politics, and the New Patriotic Party has accused the government of an orchestrated attempt to remove the Chief Justice Gertrude Torkornoo following her suspension from office. The party has therefore vowed to resist, with 5 political parties set to demonstrate on Monday against the dismissal of several other workers appointed under the Eswal NPP administration. Listen to Minority Leader Alexander Apenyo-Marking speaking earlier at a press conference.
I want all judges in the country to know that their institution is under attack. The NDC government is approaching you, the judges, telling you that, oh, Torkornoo does not have a good interpersonal relationship. She is snobbish, she is this, she is that. But I want you to know that if they allow them to use you today, tomorrow they will come after you. Yep. Act collective. Yes. It is your institution which is under attack.
Minority Leader Alexander Apenyo-Marking. Meanwhile, NDC Deputy Director of Elections and IT, Dr. Rashid Tanko Computer, said the president has been magnanimous with the Chief Justice by following due process.
Has His Excellency John Dramani Mahama done anything wrong? When Professor Kweku Azar, sent petition to Nanado to remove Justice Torkornoo, what did Nanado do? Nanado passed the petition to the Council of State. The Council of State, having assessed it, came out with a verdict. Today, this Council of State that came out and said Madame Torkornoo did no wrong at that time with the petition. That led to Nanado dismissing the petition. My venerable friend Apenyo-Marking and his group didn't see anything wrong with the Council of State saying that they didn't see anything wrong with that because it was Nanado government. They were satisfied with Nanado having gone through that process.
And he had the NDC Deputy Director of Elections and IT, Dr. Rashid Tanko Computer. My name is Beatrice Adu. Log on to SureNews.com for more news. Have a good afternoon.
On this frequency, 92.7 3FM.
3 FM.
Follow us on social media, Twitter at 3FM927, Facebook at 3FM927, and also on 3news.com.
And hello there, good afternoon. Welcome to Business Daily here on 3FM 92.7 with me, Michael Upodu. Coming up, Ghana Revenue Authority GRA declares war on smuggling, stressing it will use all resources to combat the menace.
A sustained campaign against people who are smuggling goods in.
Also, GRA Workers Union warns government against imposing technical advices on the authority, stressing it will be met with strong resistance.
GRA workers will resist attempts to impose undue political interferences in our professional work.
Plus, Bahamas eyes Ghana for cementing ports in trade boost aid.
So in Ghana in particular, we're looking at raw materials, but we're also heavily looking at building supplies and construction materials. So everything from cement to steel, iron, lumber, rubber.
Details of these and many other stories coming up shortly. Please don't go anywhere. Thank you so much for your time. Straight into our top story. And the Ghana Revenue Authority, GRA, has warned individuals and organizations involved in smuggling goods into the country to comply with duty payments, emphasizing its commitment to utilizing all available resources to combat the practice. Commissioner General Anthony Kwesi Sarpong, addressing the media during the authority's May Day celebration, highlighted the effect of smuggling, particularly on the private sector. The following 3 Business News Desk report has the details.
Finance Minister Dr. Cassio Atu-Forson, during the inauguration of the new directors of Ghana Revenue Authority, charged the board to tackle smuggling into the country, highlighting its effects on jobs creation and the national economy. The minister stressed the need to maximize domestic revenue mobilization, citing fiscal constraints being faced by government in its revenue mobilization efforts.
This economic injustice and national security threat must be addressed decisively through stronger enforcement, enhanced intelligence, and close collaboration with other agencies. I urge you, the new governing board, to tackle smuggling decisively.
Commissioner General of GRA Anthony Kwesi Sarpong vowed to crack down on smuggling through the Customs Prevention Division, targeting individuals and organizations involved in the illicit trade.
We have tasked our preventive session at Customs Division to work together with stakeholders, particularly private businesses that are being affected, so that together we will mount a sustained campaign against people who are smuggling goods in.
The Commissioner General pledged the authority's commitment to ensure decent working conditions of workers of the GRA.
Part of the reset also means ensuring that they have their decent pay, but more so decent working and conditions, again looking at their rights and welfare, so that totality you are looking at the welfare of the human GRA colleague. And for me, that is the vision that we've set for ourselves.
You heard the Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Anthony Kwesi Sarpong, ending that report. And meanwhile, Chairman of the Ghana Revenue Authority Workers Union, Theophilus Ehun, has sent a stern warning to the Minister of Finance, Dr. Cassio Atu-Forson, stressing the workers will resist any attempt to impose technical advices on the authority. The chairman, in his address at the GRA's May Day celebrations, highlighted that such appointments undermine staff competence and demotivate them. He, however, assured the Minister of the Workers' full support and commitment to deliver on their mandate as tax administrators.
To our Honorable Minister for Finance, we have received your message on the need for job rotation. We appreciate your support so far. We assure you, as workers of GRA, we shall work hard and we shall deliver. But I want to send this message also. that GRA workers will resist attempts to impose undue political interferences in our professional work. We have seen the so-called technical advisors before, and that is not new. And we know how their end were. And we want to be blunt. Who is more technical in revenue administration than the men and women of GRA? We will not sit idle and watch appointments that undermine the credibility, experience, and motivation of dedicated staff. We are not against reforms, but we demand respect. We demand transparency and fairness. And management must put a stop to this now.
So you had Chairman of the Ghana Revenue Authority Workers Union, Theophilus Ehun, speaking. Now, in a move aimed at boosting bilateral trade, the Bahamas is exploring plans to import construction materials, particularly cement, from Ghana, according to Vice President of the Bahamian Senate and Chairman of the Bahamas Trade Commission, Barry Griffin. Ghana holds immense potential that the Caribbean nation is keen to tap into. Speaking to 3 Business during a working visit to Ghana, Mr. Griffin emphasized the need to significantly improve trade volumes between the 2 countries, which he described as historically low and on the decline in recent years.
So in Ghana in particular, we're looking at raw materials, but we're also heavily looking at building supplies and construction materials. So everything from cement to steel, iron, lumber, rubber, and other things that can be used in the construction process. So that's the main thing that we're looking for. But as we're learning, as we converse with people more and, get a little bit more deeper into the Ghanaian economy, is that there's so much more that Ghana can offer as well. And so we're very much open to all the possibilities in terms of textiles, in terms of finished products. There are lots of very talented craftsmen, of shoes, of bags, of clothes that we've met here. And we're very open to bringing those into our market as finished products or forming collaborations between Bahamian business people and Ghanaian business people, where perhaps some of the value-added work can be finished in the Bahamas for onward consumption in the United States, the Caribbean, or Latin America.
So you had the Barry N. Griffin. He is the Vice President of the Bahamian Senate and Chairman of the Bahamas Trade Commission. Now, government is set to conduct its next Treasury auction on Friday, May 2, 2025, aiming to raise 6.32 billion cedis. This target represents a slight increase compared to the previous week's auction. There is more in the following 3 Business News Desk report.
In the preceding auction, the yields on all offered short-term instruments saw marginal decreases, indicating a potential shift in market dynamics. The yield on the widely watched 91-day Treasury bill fell from 15.45% to 15.32%. Similarly, the 182-day bill experienced a decline in yield, dropping from 16.21% to 16.3%. The yield on the 364-day bill also saw a decrease, settling at 18.37% compared to the previous weeks of 18.62%. In the upcoming Treasury auction, government is seeking to raise 6.32 billion cedis as short-term yields decline. Market analysts anticipate that the government will likely continue its reliance on short-term domestic debt instruments to meet its financing needs. This projection is largely attributed to a cautious investor sentiment towards longer-term government securities. The marginal decline in short-term yields could suggest increased demand for this shorter-dated instrument, although the overall investor appetite for longer tenors remains to be seen.
And that was a 3 Business News Desk report, bringing an end to Business Daily here on 3FM 92.7. For more business stories, please visit our website at 3news.com/business. I am Michael Obudu. Thank you for listening. As always, please stay safe.
3FM.
It has always been a journey of Pan-Africanism and consciousness. It is your regular taxi driver with the urban blend and 3FM 92.7 in living stereo every day, Monday to Friday, from 12:30 p.m. till 3 p.m. This is the show everybody listens to, so your business will certainly do well here. My name, Black Rasta. I am the rootical, hairtical, Don Gargan, Mua Fire.
Come forward. Atinga ya chika fankare, Azure ya chika fankare, Abama ta chika fankare.
My mom means everything to me. She's
Are the beacons of our lives, guiding us through life's challenges with their selfless love, tireless dedication, and unwavering support. As we celebrate Mother's Day, TV3 and 3FM in partnership with Airport View Hotel invite you to a celebration of motherhood at Dining with Mama, happening on the 11th of May 2025 at 12 p.m. at the Avi Event Center in Airport Residential. Get carried away by live band music, a sumptuous buffet lunch, refreshing drinks, thrilling games, exciting giveaways, and amazing performances by PSA Esther, MOG Music, Max Praise, and Reynolds the Gentleman. Treat your mom like royalty and make her feel like the queen she is.